Desiree's Kissing You, covered by Sam Smith and the BBC Concert Orchestra for their Radio 2 Piano Room session. I'm Ken Bruce. Thank you very much for joining me once again for this, the final programme in our look back at the best of Radio 2's Piano Room from 2022. Huge thanks to everybody who made Piano Room such a success over the year, the production teams, technicians, the orchestra, and all of our amazing musical guests. And the good news is that you won't have to wait too long until Piano Room Month returns in February. To catch up on this series of highlight shows, just go to BBC Sounds and search for Piano Room. Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker, and 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 9 o'clock. This is Andrew Peach. The Brazilian football legend Pelé, regarded as one of the most talented people ever to play the sport, has died at the age of 82. He'd been diagnosed with bowel cancer and was receiving end-of-life care at a hospital in Sao Paulo. Writing on social media, his daughter said she and his family loved him infinitely. The South American football expert Tim Vickery says the Brazilian public did too.
This was expected, so the country has had a chance to prepare for this shock. But to explain this to UK listeners is off the scale. This is like the passing of Winston Churchill, Lord Nelson, Paul McCartney, Lewis Hamilton and Bobby Charlton all in one.
Pelé was the only footballer to win the World Cup 3 times in 1958, 1962 and 1970. He once recalled the most important piece of advice he'd been given.
My father used to tell me, listen, God give to you the gift to play football. But if you don't practice, if you don't train, if you don't respect the opponent, the other player, you're never going to be a good player. That's, I think, we have a lot of players, very good, skillful player, but they doesn't want to train, doesn't want to work. This is my advice.
Some of the sport's biggest stars have been paying tribute. The Brazilian forward Neymar said he changed everything about the game, while Sir Geoff Hurst called him without doubt the best footballer he ever played against. In other news, the government says it's keeping under review a decision on whether to introduce COVID restrictions on visitors from China. A number of other countries are bringing in mandatory testing following a surge in coronavirus cases in China. UK officials in Ukraine are reporting significant further damage to the country's power infrastructure after the latest Russian missile attacks. Several cities, including the capital Kiev, were targeted in the raids. An SNP MP has been readmitted to the party months after he was suspended from Parliament for making a sexual advance towards a teenage member of staff in 2016. Patrick Grady had previously apologised for the incident. The SNP confirmed his membership had resumed. Here's Nick Eardley.
Patrick Grady was found by an independent panel to have touched and stroked the neck, hair and back of a junior colleague. It ruled him guilty of a significant breach of Parliament's misconduct policy. As a result, the Glasgow MP was suspended from the Commons for 2 days. He apologised and said he would stand back from SNP membership when it also emerged the case had been referred to the police. They took no action. Insiders say that Mr Grady